Hi everyone, this is Cobalt, just here with a video for you that some people have been requesting, which is just like a tutorial on some of the tracks. So we're going to go through tracks as we can, and I'm going to show you just the general gist of what you should be aiming to do in each different section of the track to try and, complete it. You're not going for the best time. However, these skills will help you eventually get to the stage where you will be going for your best time. First thing you want to do is you want to swap to automatic. You might disagree, you might be quite happy driving manual, that's fine. But if you're still learning the game, it's probably best to be learning in automatic where you're not focusing on shifting. However, do be aware that for some cars you still need to, or most cars, in most situations, even if you're driving automatic, shifting is still a major part of the game, so you still need to be prepared to shift. Is that abomination in my hair? Sorry, home haircuts, not ideal. Alright, but we will go through this. I recommend using a controller, it helps for the learning curve. It's not essential. If you're quite happy to use the keyboard and mouse, understand that it is a little harder. But I personally prefer the controller, and if you've got one, use it. It's a huge advantage, just like using an automatic car. Miles per hour, kilometers per hour, that doesn't matter. Use whatever you're familiar with. Now, for these videos, I'm going to assume that you don't have all these cars unlocked because you're struggling with these tracks. So Synchro is a default car. That's fine. I'll assume that everyone has that. Powerbomb is a default car. Iridium is default. RDO6 is default, and I feel like Nightburner is really easy to get. It is probably the easiest of the secret cars to get. So I'm going to try to assume people have it. If you have it, this car, or I would like to assume people have it, I'm not going to. If you have it though, Nightburner is one of the best cars to learn in. So for now, I will only use the cars that you can access from that. Now Synchro, I want to review as well. Synchro is a very difficult car to drive. It has a tendency to flip and spin and roll. Don't necessarily use Synchro. Try to avoid it if possible. Powerbomb isn't the best vehicle. It has a really strong boost. It's really good for like making shortcuts and stuff, but at the same time, if you're learning, it's probably not ideal for you. Iridium is a decent starting car. Nothing too special about it. It has, I think it has a decent amount of grip, but it's a decent starting car. It's fast. RDO6 is quite good for some realms, but generally you want to stick with Iridium if you're still starting out. I will, unless, obviously if you have Nightburner, use Nightburner. If you have Coverlight, use Coverlight. Don't use the sweeper unless you're genuinely wanting to, unless you already understand this game, don't use the sweeper. If you're just starting out, it's no good. Roadrunner is an okay car. It's a bit rough to drive. It's better than most of the starting cars, so that's fine. Power Rage, just don't bother. Honestly, it's so difficult to drive. It is one of the most difficult. It is probably the most difficult car to drive in this game. So I'm going to suggest if you don't have anything, start with Iridium. The tutorial level is easy, obviously you don't need help with that. Storm Realm is the first one we're going to look at. If you need help with Storm Realm, this is probably the video for you. Start off with, you want to not be leaning on the stick, or not turning as you come out of here, because you can actually come off on an angle, and you don't want a Nitrox there at all. Holding down the accelerator means you'll be in a high gear. You'll be in the highest gear by the time you hit the track. So you do want to come down there, you want to be very cautious. You want to get on the brake as soon as you can, because coming up to this corner, if you've got too much speed, you're going to spin or you're going to go off the edge. You want to take this corner at a steady pace, it's not too bad. And you don't want to go too fast off here, especially in a car like Synchro, that will roll. There's a bit of a chance to get air there, so you will bounce and roll if you're in a car that is not very sturdy. Don't go off there with speed unless you're more confident. You need a lot of speed coming up to this hill though, so as fast as you can, just because you can fall there. Try to avoid using Nitrox on that jump, on most jumps, because when you land, you do kind of synchro yourself and just bounce off the map. And that corner there is pretty much the same as the first. Now there is lightning on the inside. I did look back as it struck, so you would have missed it. So as long as you're in the middle of the track, you're not going to hit it. Generally, if you're coming out of that corner, you're coming out a bit wide. Now, I'm going to actually back up and do this corner again, because generally here you can use a bit of speed. So we're going to come back. Oh, that triggers the lightning again. Sometimes they do this. It's weird that they do this. Alright, so you're going to come out of this corner. You don't want to be too far on the inside or that lightning will throw you off the edge. Now you want to just get rid of the accelerator, get on the brake. Because if you have any real speed coming in here, you will easily fall off on the inside there. It's very easy to lose traction. This corner here is nice and easy after that. You should be going relatively slow. Now, here, there are multiple lightnings. It goes left, right, middle, left. Now, ideally, you can wait for the right strike and then get on the right to avoid it all. But the safest play is actually to just hit the middle one. It generally won't throw you off the edge. You lose your engine, it's not going to throw you off the edge. That's fine. Just take it. You should almost always have enough speed from there to this jump to make this jump. Almost always. If you feel like you don't have enough speed, just a burst. Don't ever hold down nitrox, use it in bursts. But there are situations where holding down nitrox is fine, but try to use bursts. Here it's right, left, right. I didn't know there was an extra right there. It's not an issue. As long as you're in the middle of the track, you're fine. This section is nice as well. Just take your finger off the accelerator and you're fine. Now, loops are a very hard part of the game. Take it slow. If you feel like you're getting to a too slow a speed, you can just tap that nitrox and that'll keep you in the loop. Go very slow on loops. There's no point going excessively fast. You're just going to throw yourself off. They are a bit wonky. This section, go as slow as you need to feel comfortable. Try and stay to the middle of the track to the best of your abilities. These yellow lines in the middle are your friends. Stick to the yellow lines. Don't go too fast because you'll just fall off. And here, you've gone through so much of the track that falling off here is just not acceptable. Now, after the 2 turns just back there, I will go through it all a little bit faster. After those 2 turns, you do start to get this uphill section. So drive normally up the hill, that's fine, but once you get to up here and you can't see the track anymore, slow the hell down. Okay, if you hit this at speed, you can quite easily bounce and fall into that gap there to the left. Some cars are fine and will just land quite flat. That lightning is very hard to hit, so it's fine. Don't stress about that lightning there. It's mostly a distraction. Now here, don't go too fast like I did. I went way too fast there. I was lucky not to fall off. The track gets tighter. There's no need for speed until you get to here. I had no speed because it stopped. Alright, we're going to go through it faster again, like a little bit faster this time. I will again be talking through it all. So just accelerate from here. Now finger off the accelerator. Makes this corner a lot easier. Not too fast off here. You want to stay on the track. You don't want to catch air if you don't need to. The only time you want to catch air is when there's no track. You need full acceleration coming up here. No nitrox, because otherwise you will bounce. Full acceleration, quite easy to make that jump and fly off the edge. See how too much speed? That's fine. It does happen. It's just trial and error. A lot of this game is just trial and error. Like, I can do a lot of this faster than I'm showing you here, but this is about learning and improving as yourself. So, full speed here. Now, I think you want to keep a little left. Yeah, left is safer. See, even I make mistakes. It's fine. I'm not some god at this game or anything. It's quite easy to make mistakes. And whenever I'm doing like a speedrun or something, I will make mistakes quite a lot. Sometimes you do get stuck in reverse. Just be prepared to shift up for that. Even in automatic, it does happen. Don't fret. See there, I had a bit too much speed. I got a little bit airborne. I lost a little bit of control of the car. And that's the most important thing, is you need to be in control of your car. I need to slow down a little here because it keeps spinning me out. I clenched. but that didn't really make any difference. I was still in trouble. So here I'm having trouble with this jump, and this is a good learning opportunity for everyone. If you're having trouble with a particular section of the track, maybe you're just tackling it wrong. Even though, yeah, you might have done it fine before, I've just failed there 3 times in a row now. I need to review what I'm doing and do something different. So I'm going to do something different here. I'm going to take it a bit easier. It seems like Iridium is one of the faster cars, so I'm going to go a little bit slower. I'm going to get up here, and then I'm going to just Nitrox. A little burst of Nitrox gets me a little bit of speed, just enough to make the jump. And then on the brake. Got to be on that brake if you're not in control of the car. You need to stop before you fall off the map. Going a bit wide here, come into the inside. Just taking it nice and slow. This car's got a good amount of control. It's a very good one to unlock your first car. See there, I was able to avoid the lightning. That's fine. Here I had too much speed. I think for this track, Iridium does have a huge downside, and that is that it is too fast. So, look, Iridium is fine if you take it easy, but I feel like it's too fast. I'm going to move on to a different car. Now, with Iridium failing, I'm going to say Powerbomb is possibly your next best bet. We'll see. I can do this with Synchro. I'm sure I can do it with Iridium. I just haven't really put a lot of effort in. So we're going to try it with a different car. We're going to try Powerbomb. So Powerbomb has more boost than power. And Iridium's problem that it was giving me there was it was too powerful. So this track is one that you need to take it easy on. So I'm taking it easy. So this car shouldn't flip out as much. It should be a little more stable than Iridium, which is very nice. Stability is a very important factor of the game. And I'm only hitting 250 as I jump here. Very smooth jump. This is much better. Now you hit the brakes here if you're not confident with the corner. Otherwise just let go of the accelerator. And if you feel the car stepping out and you're not trying to do that yourself, if you don't want the car stepping out like that, just ease up. It's fine. Take the lightning, fine. Now this car's a little slower. I'm going to give it a little bit of juice just to make the jump. I didn't give it enough. I barely touched it. That's on me. Again, trial and error. You want to be trying and going again and again, and you will eventually get it. You want to try the one track again. And if it's failing too much for you, it's probably the car more than it is the driver. The car makes a huge... The car is more of an impact than the driver. You could always get better. If your car's no good for the track, it's not going to get better. It's not going to change and suddenly be a better car for that track. Every car can do every track, but that doesn't always mean it's easy. So just going through here. Well, see, that was just... I took that too fast. I should have slowed down a bit there. Sorry, someone's trying to message me. I better make sure it's not important. It was not. Alright, we're going through this again. Easy on this corner. You don't want to step out and spin. Seriously, if you're not aiming for that power slide, you start the power slide, just hit the brake. It's fine. You don't want to do it. Don't ever try and control a power slide that you weren't intentionally doing. Because that's how you just ruin your run. Alright, so again we're going to take the middle here. We're just going to accept the middle lightning, the third one. It's fine. It's honestly not even that bad. Now this time I won't have enough speed, so I'm going to give it a bit more Nitrox to make sure I have enough speed. And this is one of the few cars you need to do that in if you do hit the lightning there. If you don't hit the lightning, you don't need the boost. No. Oh. That one I just wasn't paying attention to the road. That's my own fault. Paying attention is a massive thing. Like, it's kind of the point of the Storm Realm is no distractions. So we come up for a nice easy turn here. Another easy turn here. And again, we've got the loop. So again, go slow. Don't do anything excessive. Just take it nice and easy. Here I'm going a bit slow. A little bit of a boost fixes that issue. Easy stuff. Now we come into the fog and take it easy in the fog. Like, this is easily able to ruin you. You have a left first, And then a right, you have the lightning to tell you that it's there, but don't go too fast if you're not comfortable with it. And then you have another left. So left, right, left. And then you've got the uphill. So we have the uphill here, and we don't want to go too fast off the top. So as soon as we can see the top and the track stops being visible, you slow down. If you're not able to see the track, don't fly into it. You don't know what's there. Even if you've memorized this track, you don't know exactly what you're coming into. Don't do it. Now slow up here. The track's about to get tighter and harder to drive. And this turn here is a bit rough. This section, just take it slow. Don't go too fast. Take it nice and slow. As soon as you start accelerating, if you lose, the track's too skinny. If you lose traction once, you're falling off, and that's it. You're restarting the run. You've come too far to restart here. Don't get distracted. Ignore the lightning. Ignore your second screen and your camera and things like that. Just cruise along. And then the fog will get denser, and soon you'll see nothing. So here it's very difficult to see. Now it is a mostly straight track with a slight left curve. Okay, it's mostly straight here. So you shouldn't worry too much about the fog, because there's no major turns, there's nothing unexpected coming up. The only thing that's going to come up is it gets more visible here. When it gets more visible here, that means you're home free. Just accelerate. It is a straight line run from here. Do not nitrox heavily, because if you hit this part here that I'm hitting now too hard, you will have, with nitrox, you'll just jump over the portal, ruin the whole run. So that's the storm realm. I'm going to go through it once more. I'm going to go through it a bit faster, and we're going to see if I can just complete it quickly. So now with this one complete, you should be able to unlock, what's the card that it unlocks? One of them. Spinebuster, I believe it is. Spinebuster is a really good car. It is like Powerbomb, but a little easier to drive. So you'll see I use nitrox occasionally just to get a little more acceleration, a little more speed. You don't have to do that if you're not comfortable with it. But this is just me going for the fastest run I can. I promise I'm trying to go fast. But this car is just not ideal for this track compared to some of the others. But as far as the 4 beginner cars go, it's nice. So you can always nitrox if you're falling off the track, and you can put yourself back on, providing you time it right, your car's facing the right way, and your car's in the right gear. If your car's in reverse and you nitrox, you will nitrox backwards. It can really ruin things for you if you're not ready for it. Ease up here because you don't want to go too fast off there. Even there I got a little bit of air, that's probably too much. Most of the time, as long as you're on the apex, you should be okay for lightning. As long as you're in the best racing line. Oh! Do I try again? Of course I try again. I'll even edit that out so you don't even know that I screwed up. I'm gonna go again. Pretty safe to say that no, that's not quite working out for me. You get the gist of it. It is something that, you know, I'm going faster. It's making the track a lot harder, especially in this car. If you take it nice and slow, you can get it very easily. It doesn't take as many mistakes as I made it look like. But obviously, you know, if you're watching this, it's because you've had some struggles with the track. Hopefully some of the tips I've given you here are helpful, and hopefully you'll be able to improve and unlock yourself Spinebuster, because trust me, for me, life got a lot easier once I had Spinebuster in my collection. Because it handles a lot better than this, and this car's just not very good for a beginning driver. You always want to ease up here. It does get a bit too tight, and that can be a problem sometimes. This is one of the more punishing areas, so don't go too fast. Luckily this car isn't capable of going too fast, although I did get a bit of speed wobbles there. Did definitely lose control of the car for a little bit. But sometimes, generally if you lose control of the car, brakes will just save you. And it's always better to stop and ruin, like, you're not always going for a record, you don't have to get a record, sometimes it's better to just finish the track, because that's experience and practice. Whoops, so I rushed it there, and that's my fault. Don't rush. So that's the Storm Realm. Just, it's one of those ones that you will improve as you keep at it. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful.